Adventures and Aviators. Today we are talking to you about Hanoi, Vietnam. This is just the first part in a whole series that we're going to do on various places in Vietnam, and we're just kind of taking you through our trip, which started in the north in Hanoi and ended down at Ho Chi Minh City in the south. We flew into Hanoi and had a car pick us up there from our Airbnb. Now this is an option you'll find in most of Asia, is having someone pick you up at the airport. That's really cool. They have a little sign there waiting for you. We preferred that because for this trip we were going with a group of our friends, and so for the number of people that we had and the amount of luggage that we had, it was really nice to know that we had a big enough vehicle to get us to the place that we wanted to go.
While in Vietnam, we used Airbnb, and so in Hanoi, we found an Airbnb that really looked like a hotel. And you'll find this a lot in Vietnam, is that hotel type places, villas, all use Airbnb to advertise. And we had a great experience that way. Like Jason said, we had someone pick us up from the airport from there, and it really felt like a hotel.
So in Hanoi, most everything revolves around the Old Quarter, and this is where you'll find a lot of the tourist sites that you might be interested in. There's the Temple of Literature, the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum, a big lake around the Old Quarter where you can go to water puppet shows. There's also the Imperial Citadel and the Perfume Pagoda. And those are just, of course, a couple of the things that you can find in Hanoi, but they all are pretty central around the Old Quarter of the city.
Let's talk about food. We like to talk about food because we like food.
Nom nom nom.
Nom nom nom. You know, some people really love Vietnamese food, and I did enjoy Vietnamese food, but I have to say that it was a little less flavorful than places like Thailand. However, some of our favorites that we tried, egg coffee is really known in Hanoi. That is where it was founded. You can still find it in other parts of Vietnam, but if you want to try egg coffee, Hanoi is where you're going to want to do that. And it's served hot and cold, and yes, it has an egg in it, and they've whipped it up for about 6 minutes, so it's nice and fluffy, and they put it on top of their really deep, dark brewed coffee. So it's fantastic. I loved it. Other things, other food that you might try there would be a banh mi, which is kind of like a sandwich with different types of meats inside, and it's usually a little spicy. You can also give pho a go. It's spelled P-H-O, and that is a very popular morning breakfast food or an all-day kind of food. It's served in a broth with lots of rice noodles and usually chicken.
Pho.
Pho.
Pho. So we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the traffic in Hanoi. We've been around a lot of amazing traffic in this world, and I have to say that I have never been so scared as a pedestrian as we were in Hanoi. Basically, just you're taking your life in your own hands. Make your peace with God and walk across the street. Some tips that we can give you. Keep a steady pace. There are so many scooters and cars flying by that they aren't going to be fazed by a pedestrian or someone else across the street, but they're counting on you to continue going the same pace. And they're planning on making their way around you one way or another. So continue on the same pace. Don't stop abruptly or freak out or have a meltdown in the middle of the street, maybe like I did. But just continue to power forward and you will make it.
Don't run.
Don't run across the street. So there are a couple day trips that you can take from Hanoi. There are the beautiful rice fields of Sapa. That's a bit of a distance away. It's going to be a long day, but in this part of Vietnam it's much hillier, and so you're going to get some of those unique aspects. There's also Ba Vi National Park, which is again a couple hours away, but you can easily spend a day up there.
We decided to choose Ninh Binh as our day trip excursion because it was just a little bit shorter. It was about a 2-hour drive each way back and forth. And Ninh Binh is known for Tam Coc, which is kind of like the in the country version of How Long Bay. So they have these beautiful, beautiful limestone mountains, rock formations that are all over, and you can take a little boat ride down a river, and you can also bike the area. It's a full day excursion and lunch is included. We'll link the company that we went through. They did a fantastic job and we were able to book last minute. And like I said, it was really beautiful. The bike ride was actually maybe more of my favorite than the boat, to be honest. And most people talk about the boat ride. So something to keep in mind.
With a lot of these tours, you're going to make kind of a mandatory bathroom break stop where they're going to try to sell you stuff. And you're going to find this kind of throughout the region if you do these day excursions, as all these companies kind of are in together with other companies that are just trying to sell you stuff. And you know, it's not bad stuff. So this stop was, there was a bunch of marble statues everywhere from the region and a bunch of beautiful tapestry pictures that we could choose from. Now, of course, we passed and used the restroom and it was fine, but just be aware that that's probably going to be a part of most any longer day tour that you take, whether it's you know, down in the south region or up near Hanoi. You're going to run into that in most places.
If we were to make a recommendation for traveling to Hanoi, for what we enjoy doing, probably 3, maybe 4 days is more than enough time. You can absolutely stay longer if you like more of the museums or you want to do more day trips, but really 3 or 4 days is probably a good amount in order to see the city.
Also, make sure you look at the weather for the time of year that you want to go. When we were there, it was blisteringly hot, beginning of July, and it was just so hot, and so honestly we didn't want to go out all that much until the evening when it was a little bit cooler. So definitely look at the temperatures, and this is even in the north part of the country, for when you might want to go to Vietnam. As always, tell us what we missed in the comments below, and if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that little button right over there and you'll stay up with all of our adventures, including our next series of videos on Vietnam. Alright, are we in the frame? You're not crowding me this time? I like that. Space for activities. We flew into... Kiwis are not responsible if you do not make it across the street. Out of